Start to record to the cloud. Hello, this is Live with Michelle Vann, where we talk about health, wealth, and spirituality. Today we are here and we are talking to Miss Chela Love.
Hi, hello.
Welcome, Chela.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good, good. We are going to be talking about health in our community. So, Chela, if you could tell us who you are and what you do in the world.
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Chela Love. I am a doctor of nursing practice, and I have a clinic by the name of Nomad Medical, where we provide primary care on a membership base. So I'm very excited to sit with you, Dr. Michelle, and talk with you about, what's going on in our community and how we can better assist each other to reach our fullest potential.
So tell people what a doctor of nursing practice is, because I think people may not know what that is.
Absolutely. And thank you for that question. So I am not a physician. I am a nurse practitioner, but I have a doctorate level of education. And so, of course, I went to nursing school. I got my bachelor's, and then I went and got my master's and was a nurse practitioner and went to the highest level of that education field. So doctor of nursing practice is generally nurse practitioners that are educated on a doctoral level.
And so as we think about that, as we think about a nurse who is on a practitioner level, what's the difference?
Okay, so you have different levels of nursing. Of course, having a bachelor's degree is usually people that are working more as a clinician, working in a clinic or a hospital. As a nurse practitioner, it gives you the ability to be a primary care provider. So just for instance, if you go into your doctor's office, you may see a nurse practitioner, you may see a medical doctor, you may see a physician's assistant. They're all different levels, but a nurse practitioner can treat, diagnose, and prescribe. So that just kind of gives you a little bit more clarity. I just tell people, yes, on a doctoral level, it's, we do a lot of the same things that medical doctors do, but it's a lot of different training that go. I was first a nurse, so I had bedside, I did a lot of the nursing training, and then the master and doctorate allows me to practice more on the medical side.
So as you see that, for those of young ladies who maybe are out there and they're saying, oh, this sounds kind of cool. Maybe this is something that I want to do, because maybe I thought that I wanted to be a doctor, and then I looked at how many years you have to go to school, and that kind of threw me off. But so kind of give them a background of in the scheme of things, as you are training, kind of how long does this take, and what path do you kind of have to go down to do this?
Okay, so like I said, I got my Bachelor of Science of Nursing at Wichita State. That's 4 years. That's a 4-year degree. And then I got a master's, which was another 2 years, and a doctorate, which was another 2 years. So all in all, the number of years that nurse practitioners on a doctoral level and MDs put in about the same. I think the major difference is they go through residency because they go through a specialty, where with nurse practitioners, we have the same number of years, but we get more on-the-job training.
Okay.
We go through testing to make sure that our knowledge and skill set is there. So that would probably be the main difference.
Okay.
Of course, medical school and nurse practitioner school are not the same. However, I wanted to be a nurse. And so being a nurse gave me the opportunity to care for people, even on the bedside level. So if that's your passion and you're like, okay, so that's why I got that under my belt, and you want to continue your education and go on the provider side, it gives us so many avenues how to treat people. I have my nurse practitioner license, but I also keep my RN. So if I have, people that need nursing or skilled nursing, I know how to do all of that as well. So it just depends on what type of care you want to go into. If you're liking bedside, if you are liking to go in people's homes and take care of them, there's so many different types of nursing. And then as you want to evolve and, further your education, you also have that option as well. So I'm so glad I did it this way. I really am.
That's good. So if I hear you correctly, this allowed you to just really expand your reach in the place and space that you really loved anyway.
Absolutely. That's correct.
Absolutely. All right. So here we are. We're talking to Dr. Chela Love today. We are going to talk a little bit more about health, and we kind of just began to introduce her and what she does, but we will be right back in just a moment. Right. There are many reasons why womb healing may be beneficial. One reason is that the womb is where we first experience life and connect with our mother. The energy of the womb can have a profound impact on our lives, and many people report issues such as fear, anger, or a lack of self-confidence that can be traced back to experiences in the womb. Womb healing can help to release the negative emotions and allow us to move on from them. It can also help us to connect with our inner power and intuition and to experience more love and abundance in our lives. Womb healing is an empowering process that can transform your life for the better. The better our womb is, the better our birth will be. That is why we are having an experience called Healing to Heal. It begins in the womb. April the 30th, 2022. Our doors will open at 8 a.m. We will have vendors, we will have panel discussions, we will have vaccinations available, lunch will be available, prizes, and much, much more. Our fabulous keynote speaker will be Grace Marie Brown. She is a co-author of My Son Has Autism. She is a phenomenal writer, phenomenal speaker. You will totally enjoy being in her presence. She is an open book for what can happen during the birthing process. This experience will be a $50 donation, which includes your lunch and swag. We thank you for taking the time to consider healing to heal. It all begins in the womb. Sisters Can We Talk would love to see you and would love for you to be a part of this spectacular Saturday event. We are back and we are here with Dr. Chela Love, and we have been talking about her skill set and her education and moving forward. And so tell me how you decided that you wanted to go into private practice.
So, being a nurse in the hospital for several years, I just decided there was something more that I wanted to do. I definitely want to expand my career and my knowledge base. And so after I left the hospital, I opened up a call here in Kansas Plus. So I was taking care of people, frail, elderly, Alzheimer's, dementia in a home setting. And that's really when I knew I wanted to get my master's, because a lot of what I was doing in that setting was calling to get orders for things that I know I already needed. It's like, hey, already, being in this field, I understand a lot. I see a lot. You see a lot of the same things. And so I thought, well, hey, if I my own medical director, that would be awesome. On our track, okay, let me see what it'd be like if I got my master's. And so I finished my master's back in 2012. So I've been a primary care provider for 10 years.
Oh,
and
wow.
After I finished my master's, I decided that the 24/7 business was not for me, simply because it was, of course, 24/7, but my husband also runs 24/7 businesses. So it was, for home life, it just wasn't doing what it was supposed to do. So ended up selling that business. And once you've been in business for yourself, it's like,
it's hard to clock in.
Oh, yes, it is. I said, oh my, I don't know how this is going to work, but I had finished my master's and I knew I needed the training. And so after that, I started to work at Health Core Clinic. I worked there for a while. And then when I finished there, I knew that I wanted to do something on my own. So back in 2017, and of course, we always kind of gauge everything pre and post COVID, right? So
Right.
pre-COVID, I developed a team of other nurse practitioners that we went in and out of different home settings, assisted livings, group homes for adults and youth, and we service people on a mobile base. So that's where Nomad Medical kind of came into play.
Oh, okay.
Because we were kind of, we didn't really have a place.
A technical home.
Exactly. And so Nomad became a thing back in 2017. And so we were doing that. It was going pretty well. And then COVID happened. And when COVID happened in 2020, we were shut out of the group homes, the assisted livings, because the whole world has shut down.
Right.
And so I was really contemplating at that point getting an office anyway, because, being mobile, I was very limited on how many people I could see a day.
Right.
The reimbursement was not all that great because a lot of people I was seeing were underinsured.
Right.
And I wanted to serve that community, but it's very hard to have all or most of your patients, in that category. And so I thought, you know what, now's a good time to kind of revamp and reshape everything.
Okay.
And so I was looking to see what it would be like if I opened an office and came across the direct patient care model, which is modeled after a doctor here in the Wichita area. His name is Dr. Josh Umber. And I talked to Dr. Josh and he said, you know what, get out the rat race as far as the insurance side of it.
Right.
It was the best thing that I could have ever done. And so once we kind of got everything formatted, that kind of fit what I wanted to do in the community, we launched September 1st, 2021. So that's exactly how that all started.
So as you're thinking about that, not offering so I guess the question is, do you still do some insurance or are you totally not insurance?
Okay, so this is how I kind of just break it down. We do not accept insurance at all for our services. Now that's your primary care service. And what I tell people, for $50 a month, you get all your primary care needs met. That's your, your exams, your labs. We do all your prescribing, your medication refills, anything that you can think of is primary: high blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, those types of issues, weight management. We are trying to prevent things from exacerbating to
what
issues.
A concept that medicine would actually prevent something, not just maintain it.
Medicine and lifestyle. We'll get to that in a little bit.
Okay.
So what I tell people is, no, we do not accept insurance for what we do. But if there's anything outside, such as if you get into an issue with an accident or an injury, or if you need to go to the emergency room, or if you need a referral, or if you have some labs that are pretty expensive that need to be run, then that's when we will use your insurance. And for people who have insurance, I actually talked to a lady today that is a biller and a coder about how people don't understand how insurance works.
Right.
And so I tell people all the time, yes, I can see you even if you have insurance. I want people that come to see me to have insurance.
Right.
But what the direct patient care model does, it helps you bypass your deductible and your copay. Because every time you go to a doctor, if you have not met your $3,000 to $5,000 to $10,000 deductible, you will have a bill and you will have copays. And so for $50 a month, you have no claims if you are a healthy person. And guess what? It's going to save you roughly 20% the next year. So I like to help people to understand this is a healthcare savings for people with insurance, and specifically for people without insurance. Of course, they get to stay out of the ER and the urgent cares for things that can be handled in a primary care setting.
And so maybe someone who doesn't have such great insurance, because some of us, especially if you're self-employed and you're trying to get insurance is pretty expensive if you're buying it, a la carte. And so this is definitely one of those spaces and places that would fill in to help you to be able to do what you need to do without having to pay those high deductibles.
Absolutely. I tell people this every day. They call, a lot of people call and they say, hey, what insurance do you accept? And I say, none. And they say, okay, well, I say, hold on, before you hang up, let me explain something to you. This can be a savings for you, especially like you said, people that are entrepreneurs, or, they have a small business, or, our beauticians and our barbers and our nail techs.
Yeah.
That is it's a huge deal that you can have a health home. And that's exactly what Nomad is. It's a health home for people with or without insurance. But for those people who are out there, they're working every day and insurance is very expensive. Yes, carry whatever you need to carry, especially for those things that aren't going to be covered in a primary care setting. But this could help on the side of just those day-to-day, I need someone to call because I need X, Y, and Z. And we cater to our patients. We do all types of appointments. I mean, we do virtual appointments all the time. Telehealth is huge right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's helping to save time as well.
Okay.
Because you can go sit somewhere for a few hours and lose a lot of time.
All right, we'll be right back.
Thank you.
All right, how'd you feel about that?
Sunday for Resurrection Service. Sunday, April 17th, 2022 at 10:30 a.m. I promise you there will be a word from District Elder William Vann. This Sunday at 1914 East 11th on the corner of 11th and Minnesota. Come how you are. Dress to impress if you'd like, but if you don't want to, find yourself a t-shirt and a nice pair of jeans and roll on. We're the church at the center of the community with the center of the community at our heart. Join us this Sunday for Resurrection Sunday, April 17th, 2022, 10:30 a.m. on the corner of 11th and Minnesota, 1914 East 11th. Oh, and by the way, there will be an Easter egg hunt after service, so bring your kids.
Live with Michelle Vann. We talk about health, wealth, and spirituality. We are here and we're talking to Dr. Chela Love today. We're talking about Nomad Clinic, and we are talking about saving you some money on your primary care. Now, one of the things we understand is that food is medicine. We understand that, if we can do some preventative sorts of things, then we don't end up having pill bottles and pill boxes and things of that nature. So as you look at your system, how do you, because you said lifestyle is something that you talk about, how did you formulate that lifestyle into your practice?
And so what I try to do, Dr. Michelle, is really meet people where they are. In any capacity where we are in life, we usually need someone to help assist and guide us. No one is on an island, but that's really where I try to start. Just seeing, okay, what do you like to eat? How often are you exercising? What, are you a smoker? What are the things that you like to do to relax? Once you start to understand people and what makes them tick and what makes them work, you really start to see, okay, this person is not getting ready to just completely change, but if we could possibly take soda out of your diet,
Yeah,
with all the extra sugar that it has,
mm-hmm.
and the extra caffeine, we can start chipping away at some of the things that are not making us so unhealthy.
Okay.
And so that's really where I like to do. It's very tailored to the person, because what works for me doesn't work for everyone else.
Right.
And so that's really what I like to do, is to meet people where they are, start a regimen that's tailored to them, sit down with them and just coach them through it.
Okay. So as you look at your lifestyle being one piece, what else are you doing as you look at that primary care? So if I'm coming in, what does that look like? What does my first visit look like?
So your first visit is usually about an hour. We sit down and, like you and I are having, we have a conversation. It is usually question and answer from both of us. And what I like to do is dig into people's history, because, we got to figure out how we got to where we are, or what got mom and dad where they are, and how to prevent you from going there. And so we do a lot of history. We do a physical exam. We make sure that, you know, your blood pressure is in check. We make sure that your weight and all of that, all of your vital signs are good. And so, you know, that's a big part of it is history, a physical exam, and just making sure that we have an understanding and a plan on how to get you where you want to be in your health. And so it definitely takes both of us. You know, I'm there as a coach and a guide, but I have to have a willing participant. And so you can, like I said, meeting people where they are and getting a good understanding, you know, and that's another thing I love about DPC is you can come as much as you need to. If you are really trying to get somewhere and we need to sit down every week and talk about that, guess what? Your $50 covers all of that.
Okay.
So it's whatever and however you need the service, we are there to help you meet your goals.
So how do you go about the whole idea? Because we know primarily in African-American community, but I would assume that it's probably the same in Hispanic communities. We don't talk about our health. We don't talk about our family history. And so how do you go about if a person comes in and they're saying, you know, I don't think there's anything in my family, but I don't know because we don't talk about that. How do we get people to start having those conversations more about family history and, you know, health history? Because I think that's the part that I see that's missing a lot.
Yeah, I really think doing exactly what you're doing, bringing it to people's attention that it needs to be talked about. Number one, having a conversation, putting it out there like, hey, we're talking about health today, and getting people to just engage. The physical part of that is, like I said, a physical exam, making sure the person understands this is where your blood pressure needs to be. You may be way out of range, but I'm gonna tell you how to get it to where we need it to be and what numbers you should be looking at. If I have a person who comes in with diabetes, same thing. These are your numbers, but these are not the good numbers. This is not where the norm is. So giving people understanding. I think a lot of people go into doctor's offices, some, not all, and they leave sometimes more confused of when they come in because they don't understand. Sitting down and getting people to understand what's going on. I'm a visual learner. So I will pop up my Google and I'll say, okay, this is your pancreas. This is what comes out of your pancreas to help get that insulin in, or, you know, the blood sugar in the cell. And then whatever is left outside roaming around, that's your number.
Okay.
So you're letting me know where you are. So again, a lot of blood work, seeing where you are and giving them a good understanding of what each and every one of those things mean. I've had so many people come into me and they'll say, okay, here's my lab work. This is first visit. I don't know what this means. They got their paper.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, so this is out of whack. Do you understand what this is? No. Your cholesterol is really high. Do you understand? And so just giving people understanding. I think if people
or even understanding, you know,
are,
like I see this number, I know it's high, but what am I supposed to do
what
about
is it?
Without just being that automatic, here's a pill, take the pill. What things could I be doing holistically that could help fix this?
Yes, I think people also don't understand how beneficial exercise is to the human body. I think a lot of people just say, oh yes, cardio. No, it's more than cardio. It's bringing your blood pressure down, it's bringing your cholesterol down. Everything is regulated when you're exercising on a normal basis, of course, in conjunction with a good diet. But
Right.
those people that are religious about exercising are much healthier as well.
Okay. All right. So we are heading to our last little section here. And it's amazing. Our time goes really fast, but we will be right back. This is Live with Michelle Vann. We are here. We're talking about Nomad Clinic. All right. You good?
Yeah, good.
There are many reasons why womb healing may be beneficial. One reason is that the womb is where we first experience life and connect with our mother. The energy of the womb can have a profound impact on our lives, and many people report issues such as fear, anger, or a lack of self-confidence that can be traced back to experiences in the womb. connect with our inner power and intuition, and to experience more love and abundance in our lives. Womb healing is an empowering process that can transform your life for the better. The better our womb is, the better our birth will be. That is why we are having an experience called Healing to Heal. It begins in the womb. April the 30th, 2022. Our doors will open at 8 a.m. We will have vendors, we will have panel discussions, we will have vaccinations available, lunch will be available, prizes, and much, much more. Our fabulous keynote speaker will be Grace Marie Brown. She is a co-author of My Son Has Autism. She is a phenomenal writer, phenomenal speaker. You will totally enjoy being in her presence. She is an open book for what can happen during the birthing process. This experience will be a $50 donation, which includes your lunch and swag. We thank you for taking the time to consider Healing to Heal. It all begins in the womb. Sisters Can We Talk would love to see you and would love for you to be a part of this spectacular Saturday event. This is Live with Michelle Vann, where we talk about health, wealth, and spirituality. We are here and we are talking to Dr. Chela, and we're talking about Nomad Clinic. Tell us, we've kind of been talking about some of the things that you offer as a primary care physician, as a primary care servicer.
Right.
And as we look at that, as we look at health, as we look at exercise, as we look at the things that we're eating and understanding our numbers, as people are coming into you and they're coming into through your doors, what is the one thing that you want them to walk out with?
I want them to walk out with someone that they know they have, they trust. I think advocacy, especially in our community, and access is one of the main reasons people don't go to the doctor. Healthcare disparity is huge. I mean,
Right.
this is 2022. Can you imagine what it was 50 years ago?
Right.
Really getting into a doctor that understands you and you trust, and you don't feel like you're just a number. So access, feeling like you have access and feeling like you can walk through the door and say, okay, this is what's going on with me.
Right.
And you feel like, okay, I'm just not being rushed out the door because somebody else is in the waiting room and somebody else is next door because your doctor's rushing. And so just knowing that, hey, I was heard, I have an understanding, and I'm not confused when I leave.
And I think that's one of the things, as we were talking about insurance, I think that's the thing that people don't realize is that doctors, because of insurance, because of the plans that they're on, they have to see so many people in a certain amount of time in order to make the right turnover for so that they make money. And so, I think that's the thing that sometimes people don't understand is because you don't take insurance, because you have a totally different model of how you practice medicine with them and coach them to life. You don't have to be in a rush.
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head. That's exactly when you take the insurance component out, there's nobody to dictate how long I can spend with you. And I'm not worried about how many people I can see in an hour. When I was working out in other places as a healthcare provider, I needed to see at least 5 people in an hour to be profitable. And so that lets you know how many people in a day. I mean, that could be to the upward number of 28 to 30 people in a day. And that's a lot of people to see in a day to really give you all. And so that's what I tell people. When they say an hour, I'm like, yes, we're going to spend an hour together, at least the first visit, just to kind of get that understanding down. So we can spend an hour together as often as we need to because we have that option.
Okay. So as people are coming in, they're coming into your office, you're spending that first initial hour with them, you're getting their blood work, you're looking at their numbers, you're having those conversations about family history. how are you helping them to understand financial plans? I know you said it's $50 a month. Kind of walk us through that. What does that look like financially?
Absolutely. So I'll kind of start at the beginning. So if you have children, the cost is $10 a month for children between 0 and 18 with a paying adult. And I usually start at $50 because that's usually the bulk of my patients are between, 19 to 45. That
Mhm.
era right there, those age ranges are $50 a month. And once you hit past 45, so if you're 45, I'm sorry, it's 45 to 64 is $75 a month. Now, once you pass the age of 64, you're generally eligible for Medicare.
Mhm.
And so because of that, I've completely opted out of all insurance, but you have to completely opt out of Medicare. So I encourage our older adults
Mhm.
that qualify for Medicare, because the price would increase to $100 a month for people that are 65 or older. I say, hey, I absolutely would love to take care of you, but you would spend $100 a month with me versus if you do have a primary care provider that you're satisfied with, you can use your Medicare there. And it's usually they don't have too big of copays and
Right.
deductible. And so that's why I'm really pushing the age brackets between 0 and 64. So you'll either land in the $10 a month for children under 18, 19 to 44. I'm sorry, I think I misquoted myself.
Mhm.
19 to 24 is $50 and 45 to 64, $75 a month.
Okay. And mainly, as we start to look at that age in those 50s, 60s, we do require a little bit more care because there's a
Yeah,
little more things that are happening to our
that's exactly
bodies.
right. And you may need to see me a little bit more often. I spend a lot more time with you, so the price does increase a little bit, but you are able to get just as much care that anyone else would get. Absolutely. And and that was my first love was geriatrics. So I do miss my older crowd, but I understand finances, and when you are,
Right.
in your late 60s, spending $100 a month may not fit well into your budget. So
Right. Right. So as you look at what is what you're doing, so they're coming in, they're being able to spend some time, they're being able to have these in more intensive conversations. What other services do you offer?
So of course, primary care, just like we, just talked about, anything that you can think of when you go into your doctor's office, physical exams, school exams, medication refills, any type of, you know, light procedures that we can do in a non-sterile environment, that's something that we offer, but we also offer more innovative services such as IV nutritional therapy, which
Mhm.
is a big deal right now. So rich people have been doing it for a long time. Now,
Right.
now, us common people have access to it. And so that's something that I have really been offering a lot lately because a lot of people are getting over COVID. And so they're depleted. So it just
Right.
helps kind of give your body a good boost of nutrition. We
Mhm.
do vitamin B12 injections. We do another thing called lipo CB12. So if you are trying to lose weight and need your body to kind of rev up with the metabolism, we offer lipo CB12 injections. So, we're kind of thinking outside of the box right now, what we can give our bodies so that we can be healthy from the inside out. And those IV nutritional therapy, we can do a cocktail of all types of vitamins and minerals for skin, hair, and nails. We do a digestive one to kind of help that digestive tract
Mhm.
stay healthy. We do an energize. We do one for people that work out a lot, that go to the gym. So we can kind of tailor to whatever your body needs are.
So is that included in the 50 or $75, or
That
is
is
that
not
extra?
included. That is
Okay.
not included in
So I was
the
like, what?
that's your membership charge, but those types of services are generally outside of that. But for instance, for the lipo CB12, if you really want your body to rev up, we give 4 shots which is $25 a piece. So that's about a month.
that's not bad.
About $100.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like the IV nutritional therapy for members usually start around $99. And that's more, those are the basic ones, you know, and as we kind of tailor up, we always work with everyone. So if it's something that you need, we will make sure that you get what you need at an affordable price.
Good. So as we start to wrap up our time, kind of tell people where they can connect with you, where they can find your services, where they can schedule.
Absolutely. So I do want to say one more quick thing, if that's okay.
Sure.
I would love for employers to offer this service to their employees, specifically for retention reasons. It gives them a benefit to want to stick around. No matter how old your employees are, we charge you $50 per month across the board. So if you have an employee that's 50 years old, we would not charge them the $75. So if you're an employee, please reach out to us. Our address is 3030 North Hillside, Wichita, Kansas, 67219. And our website is www.nomadmedllc.com. Phone number directly to the office is 316-669-4770. And if you have any questions or concerns, you can email me directly at Chela Love, it's CHELA LOVE at nomadmedllc.com.
All right.
And you can find us on Facebook. We're on Facebook and a little bit on Instagram, not as much as Facebook. But
right.
Yeah, Facebook is also Nomad Medical LLC.
And all of that is, you'll be able to see that at the bottom of the screen. As we wrap up today, I so appreciate you coming. I know that